And we're recording.
Action. This is not an action podcast.
Let's let that intro roll in. The intro rolled in.
Okay. It happened.
It happened. It's over now. And now this is the podcast. What's with the neighbors?
Whoa.
That is Bree.
And that's Amy. And our show is
Yes.
about spooky and murderous things. And
You-
funny.
And we're funny.
Yeah,
Bree, I
it's
have
a
something
funny
to
take
tell
on
you.
things. What? Oh gosh, what? You're coming back to me.
The plan, yes, in October, maybe.
Oh yeah.
October.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I had to tell you. No, my plant that my coworker gave me is like it's upset, and I don't know why.
Take a picture of it. What kind of plant
Okay.
is it?
It's a lily or something.
Put it outside. It's a lily?
It doesn't like outside. I also use that light that like every couple days I'll put that all my
Yeah.
plants in front of a light.
I know. What did it bloom?
No,
Oh, has it bloomed yet, or is it just a bulb?
I think it's. I don't know.
I was
I'll
gonna
show
say,
it to you later.
I'll tell you, my lilies and my front garden, they took like 2
Yeah.
years to come up, and they finally bloomed. So they were
No.
bloomed for like 3 weeks, and they finally died.
I think it's like a tiger lily. I can't remember.
Pretty.
Or a zebra. Anyways,
A zebra. I don't think that's a lily.
yeah, it is.
It's a cheetah lily.
I want to do a shout out to my mother-in-law, if that's okay.
Shout out.
Shout out to Sarah.
Yep.
I found out over the weekend that she actually listens to us.
Oh, what's up, Sarah?
Yeah.
And she was
Yeah.
kind of on the show.
Yeah, right?
She was there
But
in spirit. She was there, but
she was watching us
she
record, but
she's
I
the
don't know
reason
why.
we named our episode Assy Spray.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. Like, I was like, you listen? And she was like, yeah, you silly. Like, I was like, I don't know why I thought, I just assume nobody listens to us.
Yeah, me too.
So
It's
I thought it
okay.
was really sweet. She was like, duh. I
Oh,
was
sweet.
like, oh.
Makes our
Yeah.
day. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Anyways, I have a, do we have any announcements? No, we don't. Looks like I have a unibrow.
A couple people. No, you don't. Looks like I have a unibrow.
Okay, thank you. No, me.
Oh, okay. No, you look good.
Thank you.
We went to the fair yesterday, and I wore a What's with the Neighbor shirt, and I got a couple of people asking. And this one lady,
Nice.
I need to look into Casper Sight on YouTube. She said he is hilarious, and he does paranormal and stuff.
Ooh.
But yeah, I wore my anomaly detected, and she was cracking up at my shirt.
Yes, I love
So,
it. Yay.
Shout out
thank
to
you,
the
lady.
super slide lady.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Is she going to listen to us? Or
I think so. She said she was going to look us up. Yeah.
Right on. Did you see what your son did?
Yeah.
Yesterday?
The shower curtain.
What the heck? Like, what the
Come
heck?
on, Tony.
Why? What? He kept getting up on his hind legs, looking up, and I'm like, don't. I knew what was
all the
going
way up
through
the shower curtain, guys.
No, he jumped.
Oh
He
my
jumped from the
God.
counter all the way to on top of the rod, thinking that there was a shelf up there or something. It was like, bro, what are
Have you never
doing?
seen a shower curtain before? He has, because you had one.
I know.
He probably jumped on it and immediately regretted it. He's like,
oh, he did. He's like, wait, there's no shelf up here to land on.
What have I done?
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
If you could choose your name, what would it be and why?
Oh, Why do you always ask me these hard
I'm
questions?
sorry.
I don't know. I
I
like
really
my
like your
name.
name.
I like
Yeah.
Brianna.
Yeah.
I like.
That's a good
I've
name.
never not liked my name. I don't like my middle name,
Why?
Danielle, because that. So I think I've told you before, but we lived across the road from some people, and the daughters were named Brianna and Danielle, and the one girl named Danielle, I think she got mental help. But she was really into the movie The Crow. And one day
Oh,
she came out and dressed in all black with a knife and like chased me and like all the other kids down the streets. And she wanted to like kill me or kill. I
oh
don't
my
know if it
gosh,
was just
Brie.
me, but I think it was just us. We locked ourselves inside of like the neighbor's screened in porch down the road. And then my
Uh-huh.
brother was like further down the road with like some, I don't know if you ever seen those like bushes with like the really pointy ends, but they grabbed some of
Yeah.
those leaves that were really pointy and were trying to use them as swords. It
What
was
the
really weird.
heck?
Anyway, I don't like crows and I don't like my middle name that much because it makes me think of
I
that.
I could see that.
She was not
What the
seen again.
heck?
I hope she got help. I hope she's okay now. It was a really weird thing that had happened.
That is very bizarre. That's also like
And also
a
I was like really
neighborhood
young,
story.
so like some of the details maybe, but that's what my sister
Have
and my brother
changed.
also confirmed. Well, my sister and brother confirm it, so
That is so weird, Brie. Um, okay, so you keep your name,
yeah.
but you
Yeah,
would
what
change
about
your
you?
middle name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry, parents, but I've never liked my name.
No, you
Um,
haven't.
yeah. I think it's too like girly, you know?
Yeah, that's why I like Bree better than Brianna because I feel like it's too
Yeah.
girly.
I really always liked my middle name, Nicole.
Yeah, that's
So,
a
and
very common middle name for that time.
yes, it is. Um, I don't know. I'm not gonna change my name. Like that's weird. Like everyone, you can now start calling me Nicole.
Princess
So
Consuela Banana Hammock.
yes, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
from
I don't know.
Friends. And then he
Thank you.
named his Paul Rudd named himself Crap Bag.
Crap
I'm
bag.
Crap Bag.
I like it. It's it's interesting.
It's great.
Um, do you have a neighborhood story?
Yes, I do. Oh crap, where did it go? Oh, I pasted it in there. Why isn't it in there? Son of a
Well,
biscuit.
while
Hang on.
you're looking for it, you know how I told you that I have this memory of someone hitting my car door?
Yeah.
I don't think it actually happened.
Yeah.
Because I asked my parents, and they were both of them. My dad remembers like that type of stuff because it has to do with the car. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it didn't happen. If you guys don't remember, they're like, well, maybe we weren't like your first person to call. And I was like, I would call you because I wouldn't know what to do if I was like, an adult. And so I don't think it happened.
Well, I'm
But
sorry.
it's weird that did I just make that up? Like, I, I don't know. And so then, like, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just losing it. Was that a memory from from before? Like,
Maybe it was like a
I don't
dream. Oh,
know.
whoa, yeah, that's super cool.
Right?
I like that idea. So let's just say you lived another life and then that happened.
Yeah. Which actually kind of sucks though, because I was exactly the same type of person in this memory as I am now. So,
So
like,
a
really?
bratty teenager.
A bratty teenager, like, smart mouthing off to somebody. So that's kind of really sad.
It's, I mean, we're all kind of bratty when we're teenagers a little bit.
Yeah, I was a lot. So, I don't know.
It's okay. You had a lot to live up to. Your name was Amy, so
There you
girly and
go.
bratty.
What is your neighborhood story?
Okay. All right. I have found it. It is. I think it's on Facebook. It's from Facebook. It says, "Hi neighbors. I live in Garfield Road. On Monday night, someone came in my front garden and stolen one of my plant pot. FYI, pot got my mother ashes in. She wasn't a nice person, hence keeping her in the garden. Whoever was stolen her, can you return her, please? If not, I hope she haunts you." Sorry, I
I
read it
don't
the
think
way it
we've
was
heard that
written.
one.
And then a comment said, "Well, I hope she does haunt them. Bless you." And then someone else said, "I hope she does too."
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah. They're gonna open it up and see like all these ashes and they're like, "Oh, well."
Oh, whoops. Wonder what they thought was in it. Drugs?
Maybe it was a nice urn. Maybe they needed it for another, maybe
Maybe.
it was like a hand-me-down urn and they're using it for their grandparents.
Okay, so
Things that we
this
shouldn't
is
use as hand-me-downs.
yeah, exactly. One of them underwear, and
Yeah.
then the other one would be urns and coffins. So this week is hometown horse.
Alright. We're getting back
Sorry.
on track because we were a little off track. We did the second week of the month last week or last
Yes,
month, so now we're gonna go back to the first week. So you're getting
correct.
a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
technically.
So don't be mad about it.
Yeah,
So
be grateful.
this, yeah, be grateful. So I am going to. I'm trying to decide. I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go with how I have them listed. I don't know why I was trying to decide. Okay. So this is actually from a listener. His name is John.
Hi, John.
And hi, John. He said, when I was about 12 years old, when I was roughly in seventh grade, I was living in Sacramento County, which that's in California. Two detectives showed up at my door. My mom wasn't there. They wanted to talk to me about a residential burglary. I said no because my mom wasn't there.
Okay.
So they Smart, very good,
Yeah.
John. So they left their card. When my mom got home, she called the detectives and she found out I was being accused of stealing my father's um from stealing from my father's house, jewelry and money and a gun. They ended up bringing me down to the sheriff's office to take a polygraph test. So it sounds like his parents were separated.
Okay, yeah.
Um, they strapped me to the test and they asked me all sorts of questions. I denied everything, although I did admit to stealing a Playboy magazine from his bathroom. They asked me,
Good for
they
you for being
asked,
honest.
yeah, why not? They asked me where I was at this day and time, and I told them I was actually camping near a lake with my dad's girlfriend's son. I wasn't even in town. I was allowed to go back home, but I was still shaken up from thinking I was going to be a 12-year-old in jail. The detectives ended up asking my grandmother, who called the cops, why she was accusing me for the robbery, and she said, because the Ouija board told her I did it.
What? Super, like,
Like, what
that's
the heck?
the perfect witness. Yeah, let's ask a Ouija board. That's reliable.
That's reliable. And like, could you
Oh my
imagine you're the
god.
detective finding out this after and you're like, we
I'd
just
be
like
so
traumatized this
pissed.
12-year-old?
Oh
You
my
mean you
god.
got your source from a Ouija board? What the heck?
My horoscope said it was going to happen.
My horoscope said it was going to happen.
Also, I'm going to get lucky later this week.
Ew. Oh, thank you, John. That was funny.
Yes, that
Also,
was
I'm
funny.
sorry that you should probably get into therapy for that if it's still bugging
Yeah,
you.
that's traumatizing.
Could you imagine being 12 and hooked up to a lie detector
Oh
test?
my god.
No, thank you.
I'd be afraid to do anything.
I know.
Poor kid. That was a good one. Okay. My first story is from I actually found a bunch of really cool stories from Reader's Digest that people like
Oh, my mom
people's
used to
personal accounts. So,
love that
yeah.
magazine.
Yeah. So this one starts out. The ambulance company that I used to work for had a haunted ambulance rig 12. Recounts reddit.com user Zerbo. So, a lot of EMTs had stories about it, but I never put much stock in paranormal stuff. That is until I had my own experience with Rig 12. My partner and I were working in a rural community at 3 a.m., and it was pitch dark and completely quiet. We were both dozing. I was in the driver's seat and she was in the passenger seat. I assume they were probably stopped, just
Yeah.
waiting for like an emergency to happen.
Yeah.
I woke up to a muffled voice, but I thought it was my partner talking. I told her I was trying to sleep and closed my eyes. I distinctly heard a male voice say, "Oh my God, am I dying?" Followed
What?
by a few seconds of heavy breathing. My partner and I sat up straight and looked back into the patient compartment where it sounded like the voice had come from. Things were quiet for a couple of seconds. Then we heard the click of an oxygen bottle regulator and a hiss as if it was leaking. I turned on the lights and we ran out of the rig. I thought a transient might have climbed in while we were asleep.
Yeah, that
So
makes
we
sense.
opened the rear doors. No one was there. I checked the oxygen bottles. Neither was open, and we didn't sleep much after that.
That's so creepy.
Thank you, Reddit user Zerbo.
But also, like,
How
wait,
cool. That's so sad. Like the last moments in their life. That's
am I
probably what you
dying?
heard. Okay. Oh my God, am I
Oh,
dying? That's probably
that's
what they
so
heard.
sad. But I do wonder, like, what else does that think? Does it the ambulance, like, that would be scary to think that it's haunted. Like, can it control the
Oh my God.
vehicle? So creepy.
Why won't my
Oh my
turn signals
gosh.
turn off? I'd be
Okay,
turning on the
so
hazard lights. Sorry.
that's okay. This one is actually from my grandmother.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
Grandma.
Oh, wait, why did I say my grandmother?
Yeah, you're.
This is from my mother.
Oh, your mother. Oh, your mother. Thanks, Candy.
Thanks, Candy. So it says, at just 15 years old, my grandmother was going door to door selling something. I don't remember what she was selling, but she was trying to raise some money. She went to a house and knocked on the door, and a man opened the door. He took her inside and then raped her. She
No.
went she went home and told her mom, and her mom, ashamed of what happened, forced my grandmother to marry him at just 15 years old. I don't believe she got pregnant from that rape, but she did have a child that was born and did not make it. She then had two more children, then got pregnant with a set of twins. When she was just 4 months pregnant with the twins, her husband, the man that raped her, uh, pushed her down the stairs and she lost the babies. She was
What?
so right? She was so scared of her husband that she would sleep in a separate room and sleep with a knife in her nightstand. She was just 23 years old and had three kids from this man. So she had three kids
When she
at
was
just
just
23 years
23.
old.
Wow.
Yeah. They owned a duplex and she lived in one side and he lived in the other. And one day a man knocked on the door and she asked him, "Are you here for my stepdaughter?" Because the other man had children, it sounds like. And he said, "No, I'm here for you." Then he kissed her on her lips. She went on to divorce that man and married my grandfather, the man that kissed her. He
Aww.
they went on to have two more children, one of them being my mom. He was so good to her and accepted her other children as his own, and they lived happily ever after. Not very crimey, but he did assault her, or this is not very crimey, but he did rape her, and there was domestic violence. It's so sad and crazy. She had to sleep with a knife because she was so scared of him. Love your podcast. Keep doing what you're doing.
Aw. Oh my
Thank you, mother.
gosh.
Right?
Oh, your poor
I just,
grandma.
I know. She was tough. She was a scrappy old
Yeah.
lady.
That
Yeah.
sounds a lot like my great grandma, like her similar story.
Like, just
Jeez,
sad.
like, oh, he raped you, so go marry him.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Do the
that's not
opposite.
okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
But that's
Go.
the times times were so
Yeah.
different back then.
Yep.
Things were different.
Exactly. Thanks, Candy.
Thanks, Conda.
All right. So this next one I'm really excited about.
Okay.
I'm so freaking stoked for this. So you're on TikTok, right?
Yes, but you told me not to really be on TikTok this week.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard that aliens are real.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I say something about that real quick?
Yeah. Please.
Michael, my brother-in-law, if you're listening, you need to stop being obsessed with my father-in-law's belly button.
What?
So, oh no, old geezer's coming out.
What?
Let me explain. Let me.
Michael, enough with the belly button.
So, let me explain.
Okay.
Because that has nothing to do, it doesn't sound like anything to do with aliens. But, so Michael, my brother-in-law, is obsessing over my father-in-law's belly button because he says he doesn't have one. And so now he thinks he's an alien.
Have you seen
He
Kyle
does have
XY?
Yeah, yes.
Or is it Kyle XY or something
Yeah,
like
it
that?
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't have a belly button.
He does have a belly button, but Michael thinks he doesn't. So, anyways.
Oh my god.
Such a weirdo.
This has to end, Michael. He's got like pictures in his I like in pictures, like he's got like a whole like cop like crime
With-
scene picture thing.
With the
like,
lines and the red
different
string.
angles of where, like all these pictures that he's gotten. anytime your father-in-law takes a shower and he's visiting, he just so happens to accidentally go into the room when he's showering.
He also we spent a lot of time with him this weekend, and he also was like so excited. He's like, I've touched 2 beards now. And I was like, that's not something we talk about, Michael.
What?
He had to ask Rick. He's like, can I touch your beard? Rick's like, okay. and Michael's like, I've touched 2 beards now. 2 beards my whole life.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. You know how Natalie loves hair? Like,
Yeah.
she just loves to like pet hair. When my father-in-law came to visit, he's got that thick mustache. She likes to touch Josh. She's touched Josh's in the past. Like she'll like rub it, and he'll say, "You want to pet the kitty?" And she'll like.
Oh, that's weird.
That is yeah. It sounds. Now that I say it out loud, thanks.
Yeah, that's. I'm glad that you didn't think of that beforehand. Like until
I would
now.
have if it was a woman, maybe.
That's true. Anyways, okay. So,
all right.
Sorry.
Super excited. Aliens are real, guys. Okay, so if you haven't
Yay.
seen on TikTok or any social media, everything going on, there's a huge, like, big court hearing right now about this UFOs-ness, whatever.
Yeah.
So I looked into it a little bit. I didn't get super into it, but I'm like, because there's going to be new stuff coming out about it all the time, every day.
Right.
So currently, a hearing is going on regarding our national security against UFOs and UAPs, which is unidentified anomalous phenomena, and the government's actual know-abouts of them. Former military intelligence officer told House lawmakers that Congress is being kept in the dark about UFOs/UAPs, alleging at the hearing that executive branch agencies have withheld information about these mysterious objects for years. David Gersh, who served 14 years as an intel officer in the Air Force and National. Hold on. My geezer laugh came out. Somehow my throat's getting all weird.
Yeah.
And National Geospatial Intel Agency appeared before the House along with 2 former pilots who had firsthand experiences with UAPs. He also served as a representative on 2 Pentagon task forces investigating UAPs until earlier this year. He told lawmakers that he was informed of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. During the course of his work examining classified programs, he said he was denied access to those programs when requested and accused the military of misappropriating funds to shield these operations from congressional oversight. So, like, they're hiding money. Um, I'm going to go over just like some key things over like some of the interviews.
Okay.
So, in David Grush's testimony, he was asked, "Do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?" He replied, "Something I can't discuss in a public setting." This was followed by the interviewer asking, "If you believe we have crashed craft, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?" And he answered that some biologics came with some of these recoveries that were not human. So there's something alive in there and it's not human, like flying a craft.
Oh my gosh.
Former Navy pilot of F-18's Ryan Graves also spoke out about his encounters with UAPs during these training missions in Virginia Beach in 2014. He had described them as dark gray or black cubes inside of a clear sphere, with the apex or tips of the cubes were touching the inside of that sphere. He recounted an incident where a fellow pilot told him about one incident about 10 miles off the coast in which an object between 5 and 15 feet in diameter flew between 2 F 18s and came within 50 feet of them.
Oh
He
my
said there was
gosh.
no acknowledgement of the incident or way to report the encounter at the time that the UAP or at the time, and the UAP encounters were not rare or isolated. He then
Breathe.
expressed that this is a security and safety issue, whether it's a foreign drone then it's a national security problem. And if it's something else, then it's something for science. Either way, UFOs are a concern for flight safety. The American people deserve to know what is happening in our skies. The last guy, David Favor, it may have corrected it, Favor, who spotted a large object captured in what is now a famous TikTok video during a flight off the coast of California in 2004. He
Mhm.
said that he and another pilot spotted these smooth, seamless, oval shaped object hovering over the water before it rapidly climbed about 12,000 feet in the air, then accelerated and disappeared. It was detected roughly 60 miles away less than a minute later. And I guess they'd had like they whenever they went down, because they didn't have pictures of it or anything, they had told
Mhm.
other pilots about it who were about to go up, and then they got pictures of it or videos of
Oh
it.
my gosh.
All witnesses agreed that current reporting systems are inadequate and they need to investigate UAP encounters. So that's what's going on in the alien world in
That is so
TikTok. I
scary.
know, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
I saw a video today. People are like going crazy about all these, and they're like, "Well, I'm kind of glad that the aliens are shy, and it's not like something like
Yeah.
War of the Worlds, or whatever." Yet,
I saw a TikTok that was like that. Someone's like, "It's kinda cute that they're shy."
yeah,
Like, they just pop in and, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" "Oh no, go away.
leave me alone,
Leave
fly
me
away.
alone." Breathe. That's
I
so
know, isn't
scary.
that wild?
I
Yep, that blew my mind.
don't
I've
like
been
it.
like on many holes this week about it.
Speaking of aliens, I have an alien story for you.
Sick.
So, this one is from a listener named David. And
Ew,
David
David.
said, "Ew, David." Um, David said, "I was having a hard time sleeping, so I went outside to have a smoke in my backyard in Redding, California. I was looking south when I immediately noticed a bright orange light in the sky when a flicker with a flicker like appearance. Looking as though it was engulfed in flames or on fire, I pulled out my phone to capture it. And upon recording, I accidentally engaged the flash function, causing an immediate response from the object. Now it is heading in my direction. Quickly, I started taking rapid fire pictures while recording video until the object was directly overhead. Frightened by the response, I ran into my house and not knowing what I had captured or filmed or digital film. I later looked at the pictures and each photo is different. There's a lot of half moon shapes, then what appears to be a fire and a ball of fire, and the colors are changing. This was on July 15th, 2018 at 2 a.m. and in 2019 there was the same object seen in Hawaii.
Whoa.
So I got to see these photos. I was supposed to get a picture of them, but that didn't happen. So I asked for the photos again. I'm hoping I can get the photos from them, but
Yeah.
um
If so, we
it's
can
crazy. Like
maybe post them when this comes out.
yeah, so like the photos, it looks like the edge of what could be like a sphere, like
Okay.
a like what a normal alien shape like
Yeah.
ship
Like
would
a
kind of look
disc.
like. Yeah, like a disc, like
Uh-huh.
half of that. And like then all of a sudden like the next photo it's like a ball of fire and then like the disc again and a
Whoa.
ball of fire. It's really weird.
That is so weird. Oh,
Yeah,
goosebumps.
I know. Thank you, David. Sorry.
Thank you, David. Speaking of goosebumps. So, we have a
Great
first off,
segues.
yeah, I need to put in an apology for a listener who sent in their story like over a year ago. Um
What?
it was a very long story. Let me just say when I put it into Microsoft Word at font 12, it was like 14 pages.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me explain myself, listener. And I think you know who you are if you still listen to us, and or they're just like, oh no, I hate them because they don't want to share my story, and I'm so sorry
Yeah.
if you feel that way. I'm so sorry. Anyway, in our listener stories slash hometown stories, we share multiple stories, at least like 3 or 4 a person. So we have to have time to do that, and at least like maybe like an hour 15. Usually, listener episodes are shorter, so
Right.
that's my that's my reason. I reread it. I've read it all before, but it's been forever since I read it, and I reread all of your stories the other night, and I scared the shit out of my husband and myself to the point to where he didn't want to go to bed. So thank you for
Oh.
that. They're great stories, but dear God, they sound like a horror movie. So they're different incidents, and I just went in and cut all the incidents out and like separated all the stories, and I got like 7 or 8 different incidents in there.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna
So
share them
yes, this
each.
person wanted to yes, yeah, this person wanted to remain anonymous. That's a okay. So we're just gonna
Mm-hmm.
call this person H.
Okay.
So it starts out. This is the first one. I'm going to read them all in order too, because it's like important to know them all in order. And if you want to know
Right.
all the previous ones, we'll tell you to go to the previous hometown horrors.
Okay.
So I am 28 years old, and this story is about the family home that I now own with my husband in the 1980s. Own with my husband. In the 1980s, my grandparents built a beautiful house in a good neighborhood in Fairbanks. My grandparents were the world's greatest people and the type of grandparents every person would hope to have, and they helped raise me. I spent my days at their home and loved to explore the collection of cool items they'd missed during their interesting lives full of travel and cool experiences. My single mother and I lived in a home in another neighborhood until my grandmother died of cancer when I was 10.
Oh.
We then moved into my grandparents' house, and my grandpa moved into the attached mother-in-law apartment that previously had been rented to mostly couples or Lutheran church interns that would cycle through on a yearly basis.
Right.
My grandfather died by the time I was 12, leaving us to occasionally rent the apartment out. Perhaps I had simply been too young to notice anything creepy going on in the home, or wasn't there enough to notice strange activity prior to me moving in full time. But from the moment I moved in, I developed an aversion to the lower level of the house. I think my grandparents' deaths may have allowed whatever was in the downstairs to suddenly become active, or that it may have reacted to their deaths somehow.
Oh,
Either way, the downstairs became incredibly uncomfortable and creepy to me. We did not really have, first off, like downstairs is creepy regardless, so I don't
right.
blame you.
Always. Yeah.
We did not really have any need to go down there, and while it was fully furnished, we mostly used it as storage. Similar to the upstairs, old family portraits and random art pieces decorated the walls. My grandparents had a love for old things and antiques, and many of our family photos were from generations prior. One of the most notable was an old portrait of a well dressed, serious looking couple in a large gold frame that looked like it was taken in the early part of the 20th century. My grandparents were
Okay.
both from Midwestern farming families with about a dozen siblings each, so it wasn't unusual that I didn't recognize the couple in the photo, as they were likely to be old, distantly related to me.
Okay.
The downstairs portion of the home could be its own small apartment. Once you enter the home, you can go upstairs through the door and into the upper level, or choose to go downstairs through a similar door. The downstairs was made of three consecutive rooms that one could walk straight through. The first room was a living room and an attached mini bar. The following room was a guest bedroom where most of the photos hung, and through that room you could reach the bathroom. It was not typically used for guests, so there was no bed, just boxes of antiques and random pieces of furniture. Immediately upon moving in, the downstairs felt hostile. You could feel that you were unwelcome and not alone, as if someone were standing behind your back, hatefully watching you, waiting to chase you
Ew.
upstairs at any moment. I had no reason to be
No.
scared, but I was terrified, and for the most part wouldn't go there down there alone. Even taking my cat with me in desperate attempt to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
It was worth
Yep. I've
mentioning
done that.
that that he would fight me the entire time and clearly didn't want to go down there. The feeling of
Because he knew.
negative, yeah, the feeling of a negative presence so strong that you could feel something come into your room and then leave, also spread into the upstairs occasionally, but I assured myself that it was just me imagining things and creeping myself out. As I got older, both my mom's and my mental health took a downturn. We both had been traumatized by my grandparents' deaths, and this manifested into my mother's depression and becoming a hoarder, and she was incapable of getting rid of items and clung to anything new we brought in. For me, I developed extreme anxiety disorder, serious depression, self harm, suicide attempts. My anxiety was so bad that I spent the majority of my life for several years home alone, as my mom worked during the day and slept a lot when she was home. While skeptical
Yeah.
in general, I have always been a believer in the supernatural, as I have experiences throughout my life. These beliefs were strengthened during my adolescence, and unexplainable things happened in this home. Okay, I'm almost done. The first
No, this is
experience,
scary.
yeah, the first experience that I can remember beyond the creepiness of the downstairs was the night my grandpa died, and I stopped to say goodbye. He had
Oh.
a series of strokes that left him severely disabled and frequently spent time in the hospital. His final visit, I was unaware of how close to death he was. My mom received a call late at night and left for the hospital while I stayed awake playing computer games until the middle of the night. At one point, I felt a presence walk into the room behind me. It was incredibly clear. You know the feeling when someone walks in the room and you can feel where they are even if your back is turned. I know
Mm-hmm.
deep down that it was my grandfather, my normal grandfather, not the shell of himself I'd been living with the past 2 years. I very clearly
Oh.
felt him behind me, and an overwhelming feeling of love and comfort surrounded me. It felt like a goodbye and a reassurance that he was back to himself. I froze, comforted by but afraid, until eventually the feeling faded and I felt alone again. I knew without knowing that he was gone. A few hours later, my mom came through the front door and called my name to see if I was awake. Before she said anything, I felt in my gut that I had been right. He had passed. She then broke the news to me and told me when only a few minutes before I had felt him with me. I was sad, of course, but reassured because I knew, in fact, he was better and that he had moved on. That is the only
Yeah.
positive experience out of many experiences within this home. So that's the first I'm going
Oh,
to give you. That
jeez.
one's the lightest, happiest one. All the rest go downhill. So get ready. Isn't that so
Great.
sad? That's so
That's really
sweet.
sad.
Yeah. But, like, I get that. Like,
Oh,
you like
thank
know this
you.
person and they're in pain for like the last
Yeah.
few years of their life, and then like they're at peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very comforting, but it's still hard to lose a loved one
Yeah. Yeah.
regardless. Thank you, H. That was
Yes.
wow, that
Thank you,
was
H.
really
Again,
moving.
I apologize it's taken me so long, but I'm getting them in there now.
Okay, so my last one is about Larry Sanders.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So,
Thanks, Larry.
July thinks
Or
it's
not
not
thanks,
from
Larry.
Larry. It's
It's
just
about
about
Larry.
Larry.
Well, thanks
Yeah.
for, being
Nope.
the star.
We don't nope, we don't want to thank Larry. We don't want to thank him.
All right. I know where this is going.
Okay, so July 9th, 2022, 53-year-old Larry Sanders was charged with murder of Jimmy Knighton, who, while the two were noodling in the South Canadian River near Ada, Oklahoma.
What's noodling?
So I'm glad you asked because I wrote it, I had to look it up. Noodling, because I pictured noodling was someone making noodles.
In the
So,
river.
so
I'm glad
I
that's
don't
what your
know.
innocent mind pictured.
So, noodling is the practice of catching catfish by hand.
Oh, I knew that. I knew that. They do that in the South.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Larry and Jimmy ended up getting into a physical dispute after Jimmy allegedly summoned a Bigfoot to come and kill Larry. So,
What?
according to Larry, Jimmy was trying to get away so he wouldn't be eaten. So it sounds like Jimmy was like, "Yoo-hoo, Bigfoot."
It's like a
And
Pokemon.
And Jimmy and Larry was like, "No, I don't want to be eaten," and was running away.
I choose
And
Bigfoot.
and, and Larry was like, "No, stop, Jimmy! I want you to be eaten." And or no, no, no. It sounds like Le- Jimmy was like, "Yoo-hoo, Bigfoot! Come eat this guy!" And then he was running away so he wouldn't get eaten. And Jimmy's like, "No, I don't want to get," or Larry was like, "No, I don't want to get eaten." So,
Valid.
so Larry attacked Jimmy so he couldn't get away, and he beat him and strangled him to death. So, on July 10th, Jimmy's body was recovered in the river, and Larry was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. So, also, I don't think you can.
Did
I
that
don't think you
really?
can. Yes,
That really happened.
yes. Look it up, Larry Sanders.
Whoa.
He's like,
What?
you can't summon
Poor
Bigfoot.
Jimmy. Jimmy's like, nah. Bigfoot's my buddy. He's coming
He's
to
going
get
to
you.
eat you.
Bigfoot was out of town that weekend. Jimmy. Oh,
Jimmy,
poor
wrong
Jimmy.
weekend. Like,
Oh,
what
that's
the
really
heck?
sad.
People are so weird.
Yeah.
Also, they probably were on drugs. They had to have been, right?
Yeah, like Larry's like, not today, Bigfoot. No, it's not okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I had a neighborhood story. Okay.
yeah.
So my neighborhood story is, so I had a neighbor, this was from Google. Good
Okay.
old Goog.
Good
So
old
I
Goog.
had a neighbor, 80 years old or more, widowed guy. Every time I'd get the newspaper delivered to my mailbox, when I would open it, I would find the crossword done. I don't do them or care. A day, I decided to try to catch who was doing my crosswords. Day 1, 8 a.m. They were already done. Day 2, 7:30 a.m. already done. Day 3, 7 a.m. I decided to give up. Like, who's doing my crosswords?
Oh, that's so cute though.
He was probably doing them.
Yeah.
He
My
pro
grandparents used to do the crossword together. It was so cute.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
That's
So,
precious.
we're gonna get um so follow us on TikTok and stuff and Patreon and
Go buy some
um
shirts.
buy some
Buy
merch.
some merch, guys.
You rep us, please. Like, represent us, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Like,
I
you
make some
listen.
cool, great shirts.
Yeah. If you listen, you should buy a shirt.
Also, send in your hometown horrors. So,
Yes,
it could be your
please.
personal accounts. It could be someone you know's account. It could be something that's weird that happened in your town. If there's like a really small story that you don't think is like a very big story for us to cover that just happened on the news last night, let
Yeah.
us know and send us the article of it or something, and we'll like read it. So yeah.
Yeah.
If the
We
if the neighborhood crazy lady was walking naked through the neighborhood and got arrested, then we want to hear about it.
or if you have like a
Really want to
neighbor
hear about
that's
that.
super annoying and you want
Yeah.
to tell us
Yeah,
about your
vent
annoying,
to us about your annoying neighbors,
we want to
guys.
hear it. We want the gossip.
Yep,
We
we want to
want
know.
the gossip. We want the tea. Spill it
The
onto us.
411.
Yeah. Anyways, so 411. Anyways, we're gonna get so have you checked on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors? Breed.
Bree,
Breed.
Amy,
Amy out.
out. Psh.
What's with the neighbors? What's with the neighbors? What's with the neighbors? What's with the neighbors? What's with the neighbors?
Are you
Dude,
always
long
delayed?
distance. You're delayed to me too. Long
You're
distance sucks,
delayed.
guys. Buy us
Don't
a
do it
plane
if you don't
ticket.
have to. Yeah, buy us a plane ticket. We
Yeah.
want to see Bree. Or Bree wants to see me.
what about cats?
Say hi to your cats for us.
Meow. Dookie
Leon,
dead.